Yo, what's up, gladiators? Welcome back to the Coliseum. I was here back with another video, and today I am sorry, first of all, that it has been a while. I have not posted in like 5 days or something. I've been posting very sporadically lately. Same thing with like streaming on Twitch. I have not been on it. I've been extremely busy, but don't worry, I'm gonna get back on it soon, like not like full time or anything. But you know, I'm gonna be uploading more often. Don't worry. But I have been putting a lot more effort into the videos I've been doing, so I guess that's kind of like the trade-off, you know. I know I promised a story time like last week, but it's finally here. So without further ado, here's the story time on my very first ever Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament. It was actually an offline tournament. So back in 2019, this was about in May 2019, there was a convention, or this is when the tournament was, a year prior in 2018. There's a convention called KamehamehaCon. It's here in the in Texas, where I am from, and basically it's a Dragon Ball convention. It's the first of its kind, a Dragon Ball only convention, which is pretty cool. I unfortunately did not go to the most recent one, but before that I was going to all of them. COVID shook things up a little bit and changed things, so I didn't go to the most recent one because it was canceled or rescheduled, blah blah blah. Moral of the story, I didn't go to that one, but I went to the first one. It was really fun. I got to meet RDC World. They had their own panel there, which is pretty cool. And that's actually where they announced they were having DreamCon, like their very first DreamCon. But it was over in like about 3 hours away from me, so I didn't go to that convention, the very first DreamCon. But regardless, the first convention was pretty cool. I got to meet a lot of people. I met Kid Buu's voice actor. I met Bardock's voice actor. I didn't meet Goku's voice actor. I'm not the fondest guy of him. I don't really like him. If you know, you know. But yeah, they had Dragon Ball FighterZ there, kind of like a casual setup. So I went and I played, and it was pretty fun. But they also had a tournament that I didn't know about because I only went one day. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. But I only went one day, and they had a tournament the day before I didn't know about, which I wasn't that good at Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball just came out a few months prior anyways. So I thought, hey, you know, maybe next year I can play in that tournament. And I kind of didn't play Dragon Ball too much. I played it on and off. But then I got my tickets for KamehamehaCon the next year. It came closer, and I actually did a good amount of practicing. I still wasn't that good. I wasn't even like living legend or anything yet. The team I ran at the time, I think it was Bardock, Adult Gohan, and Yamcha. So it was a pretty solid team. But this was still in season 1. This is at the tail end of season 1 when this tournament happened. And I did a lot of practice for it. I got a Nintendo Switch in the months prior, probably like half a year earlier. And I got Dragon Ball FighterZ on the Nintendo Switch. And I would practice on there, practice, and getting ready for KamehamehaCon. Every now and then I would play other games as well. But the big goal was for me to like practice, especially whenever 2019 actually came around and it was only a few months before the tournament. I started practicing more and more, and then it finally, you know, the day came. It was time for the tournament. There were a lot of people. I think it was like 100 something, like 109, 112, something like that. And there was a good amount of people. And my very first game in the tournament, my very first match, I did a lot of research too. I've always done this, but maybe not always, but I do it pretty often. Especially when there's like stuff at stake in tournaments. I do a lot of research on all of my opponents. I try to find anything I can on everybody that I can that's entering the tournament. The JRK also entered that tournament, by the way. Just Relax Kid, if y'all know him, which is pretty cool. I saw him there. I told him, hey, what's up, JRK? How you doing, bro? And then yeah, so I was looking through all my opponents. I didn't see anyone. My first match was going to be against this guy named Trollster, and I couldn't find anything about him. So I thought, okay, maybe he's not someone I got to worry about. And then I played him, and he bodied me. He bodied me pretty quick. Nice, clean 2-0 in his favor. So yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. But it was okay, because I still had a loser's run to make, and I wasn't going to let that bring me down. But he was really, really good. He was probably one of the best players that I'd played yet. And there was a lot of players at that tournament that were pretty active in the Texas scene, the Texas Dragon Ball Fighter scene, that I just didn't know yet, it's pretty cool thinking about it in retrospect, because I know a good amount of those people now. and I'm kind of better than all those people now. But you know, it's just cool seeing people that you knew before. And then, so anyways, I lost Trollster. I was making a good losers run. I barely made it out. I made a nice 3-on-1 comeback with my boy Yamcha. Yamcha used to be my base Goku. I say this all the time. Yamcha was base Goku before base Goku was base Goku for me. So I did my thing with Yamcha. I managed to clutch it up. It was still a 2-0, but it was still a nice clutch at the end of the day. So yeah. And then that was day 1. So I think before the tournament or after the tournament, I met this guy. His name was Warrior Maniac. Oh, that was his gamer tag. I don't know his. Actually, I think I do know his actual name. I think it's like, I don't know. I'm not gonna put his actual name in there, but I do know his actual name. But his tag was Warrior Maniac, and we both like encourage each other. Like, hey man, you got it. Like, you can make it out of your pool. Blah blah blah. So he also made it out of his pool, which is really cool. And then Roberto, for those of you that know Roberto, he's one of my friends, my real life friends that I've known for a very long time now. And he also entered this tournament, which was pretty cool. He managed to make it out of his pool with like no worries. He made it out on the winner side as well with his main Nappa. He was playing, I think, Super Saiyan Goku, Nappa, and Android 17 at the time, which is a pretty, I mean, now they're pretty good. Back then, I think Super Saiyan Goku was the only like crazy guy on that team. So, I mean, that says a lot. And all of the people watching were pretty hype about his gameplay. They were, calling the Nappa clap, blah, blah, blah. And he managed to get it nice and easy and get into winner's side of top 32, I think it was. And so day 2 comes. So I was pretty happy, I made it out of my pools. Albeit I was on loser's side, I did make it out of the pools. So I was pretty hyped. So I went home, I practiced a little bit. I had fun at the convention. And then I was ready for the next day. It was a 2-day thing. So the next day I went back. It's top 32 time. Roberto actually only got a 1-day pass. So one of the TOs had to like bring him in and out because he had to give him like the TO badge or whatever. So it's day 2. We go. I see my boy Warrior Maniac. I'm like, hey, yo, what's up, man? How you doing? And it was pretty cool. It's like an anime moment, like you see the guy that also entered the tournament with you, or the exams, like the hunter exams with you, and he was also there, and we were both like, good luck, man, you got it today. And I went to go to the setups. I want to get some practice in, and I ran into this guy named Langston. So Langston, he was, I think I remember his age, but I don't know if I want to put his age out there. But he was a good amount older than me by a good amount of years. Not a whole lot, but a considerable amount older than me. And I was 17 at the time of this tournament. So that kind of puts in a little bit of perspective, I guess. I was relatively young as to where I'm at now. I know there's a lot of people that were better than me at a younger age, like 17 or blah, blah, blah. Or even younger. But still, I was relatively young. I wasn't that great at fighters, but I was still decent enough at the time. I was practicing with a guy, like I said, Langston, super strong, the best player that I'd ever played against up until that point. Was just on an entirely different level of Dragon Ball fighters. I had never seen anything like that. And he played a cool team too. I think he played Trunks, Gotenks, and I forgot who else, but I know for sure Trunks and Gotenks. Maybe a beam character or something, maybe like Android 16, I don't know. But he was really, really good, and he just bodied me over and over. I think it was like 8-0 at the end of the day. I just got lucky to get like a character off of him. He was really, really good. And I started talking to him. He was surprised I was so young. And he told me, I got his number, and he told me that the Texas scene here is relatively active. They got the esports stadium at Arlington, blah, blah, blah. And, they do a lot of gaming. They do a lot of practicing. So I got his number, and then I added him on PSN. We didn't play much, we didn't play much back then. We didn't play at all, actually, outside of that tournament. But I went on to try to make a strong losers run. I didn't do too great. I managed to beat a lot of people. Like the guy that I said earlier, that I met earlier, Warrior Maniac. We ran into each other in bracket, and the score was, I think, 1-1, and then I managed to make a 3-on-1 comeback with Yamcha and then clean it up 2-1, and I knocked him out. He told me, hey man, make top 8, which unfortunately I did not make top 8. I got 9th Kind of sad, I know. But my boy Langston did go and win the tournament. And there was a Nintendo Switch as the prize, by the way, which I really wanted to win the Nintendo Switch. Looking back on it, Nintendo Switch is not that big of a prize now compared to my performance this summer over there in DreamCon. But Nintendo Switch is still pretty big a prize at the time. And I wanted the Nintendo Switch, even though I already had one, I wanted to give it to either my friends or my girlfriend or my brother or someone. I just wanted to win it. I wanted to win it, and I wanted to give it to someone else. So after that, I was out. I was like, Roberto also lost too. He got knocked out of winner's bracket pretty quick, and then he lost right away in losers. So someone playing Janemba, I think Cooler and Jiren, which is pretty cool. No, was it Jiren? I don't think it was Jiren. Oh yeah, Jiren had just came out actually. So it was kind of season 2. Now I look back on it, it was kind of season 2. It was like the very start of season 2. So sorry about that. I think he did lose to a Jiren player if I'm not mistaken. So anyways, we're both out. It was whatever. We're enjoying the convention, looking around, watching the tournament, watching the finals, all of that. And then later on, we're walking around. I saw Chris from, Mr. Beast, his channel. And then I was like, wait, that guy looks like familiar. And then I looked around, I saw Mr. Beast. I was like, yo, that's Mr. Beast. What the hell? And he was on the phone with someone, so I left him alone. I just saw him. I was like, yo, that's so cool, man. And then my little brother's a pretty big Mr. Beast fan as well. I'd say I'm a moderate Mr. Beast fan, but my brother's pretty big on Mr. Beast. So I told my brother, I called my mom, and I was like, hey, bring my brother, his name is Vincent. It's like, bring him here. Mr. Beast is here, and it's really cool. So she brought him. Mr. Beast was actually on his way out. So I had my friends keep an eye on where Mr. Beast was while I went to go get my brother from the entrance. And then they did that. They watched him. They're like, hey, he's going, he's leaving. And then my brother got there just in the nick of time. He took a picture with Mr. Beast. I took a picture with Mr. Beast, which should be the thumbnail of this video. And it was pretty cool getting to meet him. He was like, hey man, thanks for, I saw y'all earlier. Thanks for, letting me do my thing on the phone. And then he headed out. Whenever I tell people about this, they're like, oh dude, you should have asked him for a bunch of money. You should have blah, blah, blah. But, no, I just wanted to meet him. He was a cool dude. And that was basically my experience on my first ever Dragon Ball FighterZ tournament. It was really fun, a really good experience. I highly recommend y'all go to conventions and stuff like this if you have the means necessary to do so, because it's a great experience and it's super fun. If you have any questions, leave it down below. If you want to hear any more stories from me, leave a like. You can comment some stories that you want to hear, some ideas. And until next time, peace out, stay awesome.